Well, hey there. So, how are you liking the email series this far? Now, I'm trying to do something different. Like, I could have gone and just, sent you an email saying, I recommend this. Don't do this in your business. Don't do that. Here's a secret to doing this. Here's a secret to doing that. Like a lot of people have done. And that's fine and dandy. But what I wanted to do was I really wanted to put you in my shoes, and I wanted you to feel what I was feeling at the time and what I was going through. And I learned everything the hard way. And I've tried to paint the picture so that you can see how that came about for me. Like when I had that realization, when I had that epiphany moment, when I realized the exact moment that if you simply take care of your customer, they will buy from you over and over again. Some of my customers have been with me for 12 years and they're not going anywhere. And it's a very valuable lesson. Now, the story here, first of all, it's all very true and it can be verified very easy. We actually had that gift store here in Casper, Wyoming. It was called Gifts in Harmony. And that's exactly how it went down. It started with a simple cup of coffee, and it ended up all the way on the other end of the mall. And we found those ornaments. They were called Wind Divas. You can look that up. And our store actually ended up all the way on the other end of the mall. And it was a really just an awesome time in my life and something that I would relive in a heartbeat. There's very few times in my life that I would say, I want to relive that again. But we had so much fun, and it's because we were just diving into something that we knew nothing about, right? We were just too young. Let's see, I'm 38 years old, and that had to have been 12 years ago. Okay, so I was 26, 27, and I don't know if you caught this in my first email, but I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I'm not the most educated. I have an associate's degree to be a cop. I got my degree in administration of justice. So I'm not an educated person. Everybody thinks that I have a degree in marketing or graphics or copywriting, and I don't have a degree in any of this. I just kind of stumbled on this business by accident. I was going to be a cop. Okay, that's my background. So I learned to communicate with people. I learned to mediate. I learned to handle hostile situations. That's my background. As far as doing videos and copywriting and all the stuff that we're doing with internet marketing, I just kept trying until I got it right. And not everything I've done has converted really well. I mean, I've bombed on launches. I've done some just stuff that I don't even want to talk about, right? And then on the other hand, stuff that I didn't think would do very well has just gone on to do astronomically well. And I'm like, I don't understand. Why did that do so well? But yet the product that I put my heart and soul into and thought was going to be my biggest launch ever only sold 300 copies, right? And there's no rhyme or reason. You just got to get out there and you have to do it. Now, with this story here, there are 4 main takeaways. Number 1, I tried to paint the picture that we didn't have the experience, we didn't have the background, and we had the world against us. The mall manager was telling us no. The state was telling us that we couldn't have a permit for our business. The distributor was saying, well, no, you can't have this because you don't have a storefront, you don't have a website. I mean, we had the whole world telling us this wasn't going to happen. But because we were young and dumb and very determined, we refused to fail. And so whatever your dreams, keep reaching, baby, because you're going to hit them. It's going to happen. If you have it here in the heart, then it's going to happen for you, right? And what I said in this email is you just need to have a clear path. You need to have goals that you can strive for, and you need to have a plan that is realistic. Okay? Don't tell yourself that you want to be a millionaire this time next year. Be realistic. Give yourself goals that you can actually achieve, because when you reach for that goal and you achieve it, then what you do is you create another goal. And as you reach that goal, then you're training yourself to actually achieve your goals. And it's going to be a lot easier, and you're going to go from this point to this point. If you take baby steps and you stair step it, you will reach this level. But if you try to go from this level to here by next week, it's not going to happen. That's not realistic. So give yourself realistic goals. Do everything you can to reach those goals, and don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it. I don't care if it's your wife, I don't care if it's your family, I don't care if it's your attorney, I don't care who it is. Listen to yourself and know that you have what it takes to make it. Okay? The second thing, I would be lying to you if I said I wasn't scared when I called up that distributor, and when my girlfriend was calling up the mall, and we were calling up the state and the Department of Revenue and everything else. I didn't have the background, the skills, the experience, the confidence. I was scared. Okay? And I was scared of being rejected. Nobody likes to be rejected. Nobody likes to be told no. But face your fears. Take them head on, because pretty soon you will get to the point where you're just used to facing your fears. Like right now, at this point in my life, I'm ready to go up on an airplane and just jump out, right? And that's something that a year ago I would have never done. But I'm just in that kind of mindset where I'm ready to face all my fears. I don't care what they are. At first, they were shooting videos, then it was running webinars, then it was getting up on stage and talking in front of people. And I don't care what my next fear is, I'm ready to take it on, right? And that's the kind of attitude you have to have, and things will happen for you, okay? Don't have any fears. Get over your fears and just take it on, right? Head on. Just ram right through that brick wall, and take it from me, it can happen. All right? Something very important, the third point, always treat your customer with respect. Always have a smile. Be happy. This business is fun, okay? Have fun with it. Don't stress over it. And your customers will see this. They'll see that you care. They'll learn to trust you. And when you take care of your customers and you provide rock solid customer service like my girlfriend did so many years ago, then your customers will take care of you in return. And you don't have to have a lot of customers. You just have to have a small group of customers that you take care of. And you take care of them well. They are the assets in your business. They are your livelihood. They are your blood. And you take care of them, and they will make it happen for you. Okay? And I learned this 12 years ago. As I'm typing you this email, that was the exact moment with my girlfriend that I realized if you take care of those customers, they will take care of you. And then last but not least, the trends. In my life, trends have been massive. I can identify a trend right away. I can jump on it. I know how to monetize with it. I know how to get eyeballs to my trends. And if you just train yourself, if you become aware of everything going on around you, if you go to a restaurant, for instance, this happened to me too. I went to a restaurant and there was a frame up on the wall, and it said something like "Foggy Night in Paris," and I'd never seen anything like this. This picture had little lights on it, okay, and so this whole scene that looked like a fog in Paris. It was all lit up. And I keep looking at this wall because I'm trying to remember that specific moment in that restaurant. Okay, it was an Italian restaurant. And everybody had their eyes on this picture. And everybody's like, wow, that's really neat. You know, where did you purchase this? And they said that they had purchased it in New York City or something like that. The owners of the restaurants did. And I watched people, and I watched how they reacted to this picture, and I heard one individual ask if it was for sale, and right then and there, I identified that I had a hot market, and I had a market that people loved, and they would open up their wallets, take out their money, and they were willing to invest in this specific product, right? That's an opportunity, but if I wasn't paying attention, if I had just been there eating my, what did I always eat? Fettuccine Primavera or whatever I was eating, and not paying attention to what was happening on around me, and not studying people and listening to the things that they were saying, then I would have never caught on to that market. Now, that market took me to a distributor, and the name of the distributor was Electric Art. and they must have had, I don't know, probably 50 to 100 different pictures that all had these little light bulbs on them. And we actually became a distributor for them. We were one of the first ones in Wyoming, and we brought that electric art to our store. And I will tell you, with just the electric art alone, we had a six-figure business. And it was all because I paid attention to my surroundings. We were also in Salt Lake City. This was me and my girlfriend. And she was a big fanatic on candles. And we came across a candle called Salt City Candle. Now, I'd never heard this before. I'm a guy, so, I mean, I'm not really with the ambience and the candles and everything. But she said, this is very hot. And everybody loves these. But you have to come all the way to Salt Lake City to purchase these candles. I said, what do you mean everybody loves these? She goes, well, they have these housewarming parties and everything in Casper, and they always sell out. And, you know, you have to put your name in a hat to get a candle. They actually draw to see who gets the candles because the supply is greater, or the demand is greater than the supply. Okay, and I was listening to her say this, and I'm like, well, we have a gift store, and we're very successful at this gift store. Why can't we be a distributor for these candles, right? It was another opportunity, and it's just because I was aware of what was going on around me. And my girlfriend was aware, and she didn't even know what she was saying, and she had done that to me so many times. She presented so many opportunities, not only in our gift shop, but in our restaurants, in our coffee shop. Just real quick, one more example. When we opened up our coffee shop, it was called Moody Brews. And we were bound and determined, instead of just having a little coffee shop like a Starbucks or something like that, we were going to have a coffee house. I wanted to have the live music. I wanted to have the atmosphere and the ambience. I wanted to have karaoke. And what I wanted to do different, because I'm an avid coffee drinker, was I wanted to have coffee drinks that were about this big. They were in beer stein mugs. And we did just that. And it was a massive hit, because if you look at the cost of goods for coffee, you really don't have very much money in your cost of goods if you do a coffee cup this small, or if you do one this small. But it became a trend, and it became the place to go, and everybody went there to have their giant coffees, including me, every single morning before I went to work. But what we were able to do is we were able to look at other trends in the coffee business, and soon we identified that the coffee shops in Casper, all they were doing was selling coffee. So then we started getting into paninis. I identified right away that the lunch crowd downtown was massive. There was a massive potential, and all we had was paninis. So we started researching things, and we found out that the closest salad bar was like 5 miles away. But most people downtown only had a half-hour lunch. So it made sense for us to have a salad bar. So what I try to do is I try to over-deliver with everything I possibly can. So I found this salad bar on eBay. It was the biggest salad bar one has ever seen. And we brought it in, we stripped it down. I learned how to do laminate. I did all this beautiful laminate myself, and we, put a brand new top on it and everything. And we would do over $300 a day just on salads alone. And so what happened was our customer base got to be so big that we kept expanding. And the next thing I know is we were baking cakes that I learned to do in California. There's a place called the Madonna Inn, and they would do these big, magnificent cakes, and they would like curl the chocolate on the top and everything. And these cakes sold for like $85. Well, we didn't have the capacity or the ability to do these giant cakes like the Madonna Inn did. But what we were able to do is we were able to do little miniature cakes, and those sold for like $12. And it was a massive profit, because your cost of goods in cake, once again, it's very little. And then finally, in my trips to go into Vegas and New York and Jersey and just everywhere else, I learned that I fell in love with something called gelato. I loved everything about it. I loved the whole appeal. I loved the beautiful fruits on top and the way that they were all decorated. I loved how the gelato just kind of like whipped in the case, the vibrant colors. But what I loved most was the taste. I can't describe gelato. If you haven't had gelato, you just have to have it. But the taste, it's so pure and creamy and rich, and it's not like ice cream. Okay, gelato is something that is just amazing. And so we started researching gelato. We started researching how to make gelato. The biggest challenge for gelato was we had to have a certain kind of freezer. It was an actual display case, the same kind you see in Vegas, and it cost about $8,000. That was a big chunk of money, but we did it. We brought in one of those cases. We learned how to make gelato. We introduced gelato to Casper. Casper had never seen the stuff that we were introducing. Now, we did this with the gift shop. We brought in things that Casper had never seen before. We did this with the coffee shop, and we did it with my restaurants. But remember what I said, we always over deliver. So we would take our gelato and we learned how to whip it up, and we learned how to put the fruits in there and everything else. And we had a very high dollar store. Casper had never seen anything like this. But on top of that, I sent my girlfriend, I think it was to New York City, and she actually became certified in decorating and making gelato. And then we took it one step further, and we realized that everybody loved our coffee and everything we were doing. And I started researching how we could, do things better. What else could we provide that just made Casper speechless? And so I started learning about something called latte art. And how that works is you take the espresso and you kind of shake it, and you draw little pictures inside your coffee cup. Now you're probably thinking, well, that sounds stupid because you're going to drink it anyways, right? But it was a fad, and it was one that caught on, and it was one that everybody loved, and it spread like wildfire. Everybody said, hey, did you go to that Moody Brews and watch what that girl can do with the coffee? Now, the reason why she can do this with the coffee, and I got to tell you, my partner, we're not partners anymore, but when we were, she is amazing. And when she sets her heart and soul to get something done, she gets it done. And she actually became a certified barista. Now today, she manages the biggest bar in town. She's one of the top bartenders in town. But back in the day when we had this coffee shop, she became a certified barista. The only one in Wyoming, and she passed her class. She was at the top of the class. I was so proud of her, but she became such an asset to my business. And it's something where, I got greedy. You've heard me say that a lot of times. I got greedy, and when money starts rolling in for me, I'm never just satisfied with what is happening. And it's not so much about the money. I got more money I know what to do with, right? And I got more time than I know what to do with, but I'm not out there spending money. I don't enjoy spending money. So it's not that I need the money, but what it is I need the success. I need to know that when I'm successful with something, and I need to go and challenge something else, and I need to find success with that new challenge, right? And that's where I'm screwed in the head, and my whole family's that way. We work night and day, and we're messed up that way. There's no balance in our life. It's all work, right? And it's not about the money. It's about the success. It's about the feeling of knowing that we took something that we knew nothing about and just conquered the world beyond anything that anybody thought was possible. That to me is the ultimate high. That is the adrenaline high. And that's what I have in all my online businesses. When I get on the phone with somebody, or when I get on with Skype with a student or something, that's the high I have. I love that part of this business, right? And I'm sure you see it in my face and you hear it in my voice. It's exciting. It's amazing to me that I can sit here, do what I love, help people, and get paid at the same time. And that was the same feeling back in the day with the restaurants and the gift shops and the coffee shops. I'm like, wow, I'm getting paid to do something I absolutely love. So I feel like I've gone on long enough. Hopefully you get the gist of the email. If you didn't get the email, it's right below this video. Take a minute, read that email, study those takeaways, right? It's just going to take you a minute, but they're very important, and they can make or break your business. And just understand what they did for my business. And if you would be so kind to leave a comment below this video, I'd really appreciate it, because it did take me a little bit of time. I just got a Fagula Hangout a little while ago, and I just scheduled a webinar for the Photoshop Marketing University tomorrow, and I've got another webinar scheduled, and I've got a lot of stuff going on here, but I want to connect with you. I want to get to know you, And hopefully I have said something that has inspired you, and hopefully you're learning to like me and you know who I am, and pretty soon you're going to be very open to the opportunity I have to present to you. Okay, so leave your comment below this video, and in tomorrow's email I'm going to tell you about the restaurants I started, and I'm going to introduce you the Philly cheesesteak. I'm going to tell you how they came about, but more importantly, the takeaway in that video or that email, I'm going to tell you about the franchising opportunity that I had with those restaurants and how that franchising opportunity is still in place in my online business today. Okay, so I look forward to it. Watch for that email tomorrow, and you guys have a good night. Thanks.